There has been some interesting Sims news today, and that might be a strong word. I'm not even sure it's worth making a whole video on, so apologies for wasting your time if not. But I do have some thoughts that I wanted to talk out, because the Sims team just shared their newest roadmap, which is basically like a plan for the next few months of what's going to be coming out for The Sims. The reason that I'm not really sure if it's worth talking about is because it's not like the most exciting of roadmaps. We've had roadmaps in the past that talk about like a game pack, an expansion pack, 3 base game updates, like kind of big stuff. This one is a little bit smaller than that, which I guess makes sense because we did literally just get a huge expansion pack and probably like the biggest base game update ever. It's kind of interesting because each time we get one of these roadmaps, The Sims changes their profile picture and their header. They kind of enter into like a new era, or what they call a season of The Sims. And this time the tweet says, reclaim your space and surround yourself with things that feel like home this season with The Sims. House emoji, green heart emoji. And then in this little GIF, there's like a bunch of boxes and stuff being placed on top of them. It says, take me home. The real interesting part is this little bit of text that we got. It says April to June, 4 new and unique kits and a hot update. So yeah, it's not like the longest of roadmaps. We've definitely gotten ones in the past that have like full pages of text. I'm not really disappointed by this because it kind of makes sense given Growing Together and the Infant update literally just came out. But the idea of 4 kids is like, oh my god. It feels like the kids just keep coming. They make so many of them. And 4 from April to June is more than 1 per month. I mean, that's an exaggeration. It's 4 in 3 months, but it just feels like a lot, okay? There's a lot of kits happening. I keep staring at this GIF and like watching it over and over again, trying to read into these objects and figure out what they could mean. So I'm seeing over here on the right what looks like a hoodie just kind of draped over the box. We have these books, and then we have this plant and what looks like maybe like a shovel or like some sort of gardening tool. So that's kind of interesting because there's a lot of plant stuff happening. Like we have all these flowers and the imagery. The season being called Take Me Home is really interesting because there's just 4 kits coming. So are they like house themed? Like, I don't know. I would love to have more build kits. I'm not really all that interested in Create a Sim kits. I think we've probably learned this by now. I'm way more invested in build items than in cast items. So this seems promising. I mean, they said home. So hopefully there's at least 1 build kit. I do love the color scheme they've gone for with this, and it really is kind of plant heavy with all of these flowers and things. Am I wrong in saying that this kind of has like 70s wallpaper vibes, both in like the color scheme and the pattern? I mean, you just Google 70s wallpaper and you get a lot of this like orange and brown color scheme, but also a lot of florals. Hold on, this one literally looks like the picture. I mean, if it'll load. Oh, okay. Well, it looked more like the picture from just this part. When I saw this preview, I was like, oh my god. No, this has nothing to do with it. But it's kind of similar vibes. This is obviously not like actually 70s wallpaper. But you know what I mean when I say that? It just kind of has that look to it. And honestly, it's like the wallpaper and the wood paneling combined that's kind of making me feel that way. The boxes are throwing me off though. I wonder if there'll be another clutter kit. It's interesting. There's like labels on these boxes. Is that maybe a suitcase? And then this one looks like a leaf with like a roof on top. I don't know if that's like a nightstand or something. And then behind my face cam, is that like a cracked mirror? I can't really tell what it is. It could be a picture frame. We're breaking out Photoshop so we can really zoom in and read into this. What is that? I have literally no idea. I could not tell you what that is meant to be. I do think this one's a suitcase. The way it has like the case shape and the handle. I don't know what the line is, but it looks like a suitcase. That is a leaf with a roof. Yes, a leaf with an arrow. House, I don't know. It might be like not a leaf, and I'm just reading into that. This one, it looks like a nightstand to me. Like it looks like it could be a piece of furniture with drawers. This is just a Simlish label. This one I can't tell. Is it like a cracked picture frame or a cracked mirror? And then the books. I don't think anything can be read into from the labels, right? This almost looks like it says lunar, but I don't think that means anything. It's just Simlish. Like I feel like it's silly of us to read into that too much. I just can't help myself. They give me this vague picture and I want to like inspect every inch of it and try and see if I can figure it out. This screenshot has the stuff in it. This does look like a shovel, right? So a shovel and a plant, and then you combine that with like this leaf box from down here. There must be some sort of plant kit. And then this one is like a hoodie, right? It looks like a hoodie kind of draped over the box. So I think my final assumption based on this is some sort of plant kit, some sort of clutter kit, maybe like another clutter kit. We got a general one and then a bathroom one. So I don't really know what other clutter they could do, but there's lots of options. So more clutter. I'm saying that based on like the hoodie and the books, it kind of seems cluttery. And then maybe some sort of like 70s kit, just based on like the theming of this. I have no idea what the boxes are. I think the boxes kind of lend themselves towards clutter as well, because it's almost like moving boxes, like take me home, I'm unpacking my house. I don't know. It could be anything. But then back on the tweet, they also have like the little text line that says a hot update. And that's the thing, like, do we assume that the theming is kit related? Do we assume it's update related? I don't think that this is really screaming hot. I'm trying to think about what that could mean. And I'm wondering, like, maybe, you know how all the base game townies don't have real hot and cold weather outfits? Are they like gonna fix it and like give them hot weather outfits? But if they were doing that, wouldn't they have labeled it differently? Then my mind goes to fire, but like we already got a firefighter update, so they can't do more there. I'm really curious to hear what you think about this in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts and your guesses. This person on Twitter says a hot update are the Calientes getting their overhaul. That's an interesting idea. So last year we got a huge update to the Goth family. They like completely remade The Sims, and they talked about wanting to go back and overhaul all of the townies. They've been quite slow with this. Like, I kind of expected we'd get more updates than we have. I just checked and the Goth family update came out in May last year, so it's been like a full year since then. That's a little bit disappointing because I was sort of hoping they would go back in and like redo stuff a little bit quicker than that. I understand if they want to go in and like completely remake The Sims, it's gonna take longer, but at the very least, I want to see their outfits fixed and likes and dislikes added and stuff. This Caliente thing kind of makes sense though, and I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter guessing it, so it sounds like we're all kind of coming to the same conclusion. A hot update, hot in all caps, like the Calientes, right? Do you know what? The Calientes are top of my list for a makeover too. Out of all of the base game Sims after the Goths, I think the Calientes probably need it the most. These are the Sims that I'm talking about, by the way: Katrina, Dina, Nina, and Don Lothario. These are both also really long-standing Sims families, kind of like the Landgrab, so they've been in more than one Sims game. There is a long history of lore with these Sims, so I'd love to see them get an upgrade. I don't want to get my hopes up too high though, because it is really hard to make like serious assumptions based on just this tiny roadmap. I mean, we're looking at like a 13-second clip where there's only 10 words on the whole thing, and we're really taking this and running with it. But I do think it's kind of fun to look at this and kind of speculate and like guess and hope for different things. Okay, so final thoughts. Number one, I wish it wasn't kits. You know how I feel about kits. We keep talking about this like every time they announce one. They're just throwing these kits at us. There's so many of them now, and now we're getting 4 more in the next couple months. I'm sure they'll be cute, and I'm sure I'll like the stuff in them because I haven't really been disappointed in any individual kit. I'm more just disappointed by the existence of kits, like in general. But aside from that, I think we've got some interesting ideas as to what these kits might be, and I'm actually kind of curious to see them. I wouldn't be surprised if they announced it like pretty soon. They've been releasing more than one kit at once a lot recently, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got like 2 at a time. I feel like it might be 2 kits, then the big update, and then 2 more kits, and that gets us through April, May, and June, and then we'd probably get another big roadmap in July. And just to clarify, I don't like actually know. I'm kind of just talking at you and guessing based on what's happened in the past and what I think would make sense. I'm sure most of you don't even care. It's not like these kits are gonna be groundbreaking. But anyway, I'll link that tweet from The Sims with the roadmap down below if you want to see it. And I think on that note, I'm gonna end this video right here. So hopefully you liked hearing my thoughts. Whenever we get big Sims news like this, and you know, today's not really big Sims news, but when we get Sims news, I like to make videos about it so we can talk it through. So feel free to subscribe so you don't miss the next things. Obviously, as soon as we have real information on this kit, I'll let you know. And with that, I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. I do like the vibes of the roadmap though. Honestly, like that green is really pretty. Oh, it kind of matches my shirt.